caught completely by surprise, but after 500 days of Warframe the Zenith is now mine. Let's check it out. Cool model. Comes with two polarities. Fully automatic status focused primary fire, and single shot critical focused secondary fire. With an interesting quirk that we'll see later. Seems to take color quite well. When dealing with weapons, I usually go for a white and black theme with some gold highlights and a white energy color, as it never looks out of place against my weird variety of Warframe color schemes. Slapped two former on here to fit the same build I would run on the Bratton Prime, if I didn't have a Riven for it. Heavy gunners are weak to corrosive, but have more than double the effective hit points of a bombard. The primary fire is so effective because it is stripping armor very quickly. It has a cool and quick reload animation, with the same disc design as the Azima and the Zenith Star. It also has an interesting firing sound that seems to change as more rounds are fired, as if the barrel is heating up. Activating the alternate fire shoots out a disc that causes enemies within a medium-sized radius to be visible through walls. It also turns the gun into a critical focused semi-automatic. Which doesn't do very well against such extreme armor. Disc placement is apparently important, as it will happily fall into the void. Stripping some armor with the status mode before swapping to the critical mode makes each round far more effective. The disc is surprisingly bouncy. It has a nice visual effect, and it seems to last for about 15 seconds, but can be returned manually by pressing the alternate fire button again. Bombards have less effective hit points than heavy gunners, but corrosive deals regular damage against alloy armor. Lots of slash procs. Time to test against unarmored enemies. Iximus units have 50% damage reduction on top of their armor. I'm looking for Elite Iximus as they also have 300% additional health. Same damage dealt when firing through objects as when hitting enemies directly, which is the same mechanics as regular punch through. The weapon is hit scan, which means it can be fired from behind walls as long as the aiming reticle can touch the enemy. Getting some health regeneration, armor, and Phoenix renewal going as enemies will no doubt shoot me. Also hallowed ground to help spread aggro. I'm firing as quickly as the weapon will allow, but it is still quite slow, even with while acceleration installed. The innate punch-through seems to be limitless here, though I noticed that it had difficulty firing through a surprising amount of terrain whilst leveling it in Grenier tile sets. The wall hack is also less reliable in actual missions, as enemies are not rendered in adjacent rooms and therefore cannot be seen through walls until the tile they are in is properly loaded, usually by opening the connecting door. However, it works fine for all enemies in your current tile, behind seemingly any obstacle. The semi-automatic critical focused mode is more effective against enemies with no armor, as the corrosive status on the fully automatic mode isn't being put to use, though the slash procs are still decent. The disc definitely has a medium-sized range for its wall hack, as even whilst active in the center of the map, these enemies were not visible. It also has a large arc when fired and does not travel very far. The automatic mode seems to have a fairly small spread, even when fired at longer ranges. Again, medium range wall hack. Disc needs to be moved closer. This pattern has an ideal ribbon, so I was expecting it to perform slightly better than the Zenith would without one. But it seemed to be the best weapon to compare the fully automatic mode against. Equipping the same fire rate mod on both weapons for better comparison. Overall, I really like it so far. If any of you have a ribbon for it, give it to me. Now get off my channel.